friends, I welcome you all to yet another new video on another IPO analysis of Anupam Rasayan India Limited. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe and consider joining the YouTube community. Follow me on social media channel as well. Let's get started. So Anupam Rasayan started as a partnership firm in 1984 manufacturing conventional chemicals, and then it grew to become India's leading company in the manufacturing of specialty chemicals and also in custom synthesis of chemicals. Now, what is custom synthesis? It is like contract manufacturing where other companies outsource their manufacturing to Anupam Rasayan, and Anupam Rasayan manufactures chemicals as per their specifications and hands it over to them. The manufacturing facilities are all ISO certified. They have strong investment in R&D facilities and innovation. They are moving towards eco-friendly ways of production. They have 6 manufacturing facilities across India. The promoters of this company are Mr. Anand Desai, Dr. Kiran C. Patel, Ms. Mona A. Desai, and other companies where the promoters are having stake. And these promoters have about 2 to 3 decades of experience in the chemical sector. Let's understand the business model of the company. As we have discussed, the company does 2 types of businesses. One is they manufacture chemicals and sells it on their own. The second way is it does contract manufacturing for other companies. It has sales in India as well as exports. Coming to the business segments, there are 2 broad segments. The first one is the life sciences segments where agrochemicals, personal care chemicals, and pharmaceutical related chemicals are manufactured. In the other specialty chemical segment, pigments, dyes, and polymer additives and such chemicals are manufactured. Customers like Syngenta Asia Pacific, Sumitomo Chemical Company Limited, and UPL Limited have long-standing relationships with this company, which gives this company a cutting edge over the other competitors. If you see the segmental revenue, 92.5% of the revenue comes from the life sciences segment, and the other specialty chemicals constitute a minor portion of just 7.5%. If you see by geography, domestic sales is about 42.4% and export is about 57.6%. If we are taking this for 6 months financial year 2021. Let's understand broadly the market and the industry. India's specialty chemicals industry expected to grow at a CAGR of about 10 to 11% in the next 5 years. This is quite high when compared to the other industries. This growth would be because of the rising demand from the end user industries and China plus one strategy, wherein the Chinese government is imposing stringent reforms on chemical and other manufacturing for keeping up eco-friendly norms. And globally, the companies are looking for additional suppliers other than Chinese suppliers, which give Indian chemical companies a lot of advantage and opens up huge market opportunities. The custom synthesis industry also is growing at a CAGR of about 12% in the next 5 years. What could be the different competitive advantages or economic moats which this company might have? The company claims that it has best-in-class services, most competitive cost when compared to the others. If they are given some contract for manufacturing, they are able to offer a very competitive price. They continuously innovate and develop new products. They are considered as a reliable and responsible supplier to their customers. They have a very client-centric approach and they are flexible to accept whatever are the requirements of the clients, right from the design or idea stage or research stage till the delivery of the product. The entire innovation and manufacturing and delivery is taken care by Anupam Rasayan. They have long relationships with marquee clients, as we have discussed, and they have a very diversified product portfolio which their clients require. What could be the different growth prospects going further? If you see their products portfolio, it has increased from 25 to 36 in 2020. So this shows that they are regularly launching new products. The industry is growing, so that will have tailwinds for this company. China plus one strategy will create growth opportunities. The company continuously focuses on the custom synthesis business and they further plan to expand that business. Inorganic growth is also into plan and they are looking at acquisition opportunities where they want to acquire other smaller companies to grow faster and they want to continuously diversify their product portfolio. What could be the possible risks? This is some area which we have to concentrate more because these are IPOs and the companies have not been listed into the markets earlier. So the company has dependency on their major clients. Top 10 customers constitute 88.5% of the revenue, which is a little risky. The company has to continuously spend on research and development. The raw material prices will affect the margins of the company. It's a capital intensive business, and the business requires investment of more and more capital if the company wants to grow. Since it is into exports and imports, forex fluctuations also affect the margins. There are a lot of quality checks which the customers who are giving contract manufacturing to this company, they impose and they come and visit their plants, and the government also has several regulations for to comply. There are international market conditions and international economies will affect this company's growth. If you see in 2018, the company had negative cash flow from operations, which is a little tricky to me. Looks a little tricky. 37% of the raw materials are imported, so there is dependency on imports for raw materials. If you see the financials, revenue is growing at a CAGR of 24.29% the last 3 years, and it has clocked a revenue of 539 crores in financial year 20. 6 months FY21, it has clocked a revenue of 374. So revenue growth is decent. Profit after tax is growing from 41 crores in FY18 to 53 crores in FY20, and the last 6 months it has clocked a profit of about 26 crores. So profit is growing steadily. EBITDA margins are ranging between 21% to 25%, and in the recent 6 months it has come down to again 21.79%. Profit after tax margin is going down and has gone down to about 7% in the last 6 months, which could be a concern. The debt is continuously rising, but the purpose of the IPO is to clear a majority of the portion of this debt, so the debt will become under control. The return on equity, if we see, is about 11.78% in FY18, which has gone down to 9.62 and further gone down to 4.21% in the last 6 months. So the margins and the return on equity both are falling down. If you see the other financial highlights, the reserves are growing fast. The debt equity ratio as of FY20's in the last 6 months, as on September, if we see, is about 1.3. Cash balance as on September 30 is about 56 crores. If you see the cash flow, the cash from operations in the last 6 months is about 38 crores, but it has invested in fixed assets of about 58 crores. So free cash flow is negative. Related party transactions exist. In the past, the company has purchased land from some other entities where the promoters have interest, and the promoters are doing similar businesses in the other companies which this company does, that is chemical businesses. If we see the IPO highlights, IPO size is about 760 crores. It's a completely fresh issue. March 12th to 16th are the dates. Face value is 10. Price is 553 to 555. The lot size is 27 shares. One lot, if you buy at a cutoff, it comes to 14,985. Listing on March 24th. Pre-issue promoter stake is about 75.8 and post-issue is about 65.4. Until now, the company has raised about 225 crores from the anchor investors. Let's see the competitors and the valuation part. If we compare it with companies like PI Industries, Navin Fluorine, Aztec, SRF, and other companies also which are not mentioned here, the PE ratios of all the other companies are lesser than what this company is asking for. So if we see at a higher price band of 555, considering a FY20 EPS of 6.94, the PE comes to about 80. So the valuation seems to be very expensive. The objects of this issue are the repayment of debt and for other general purposes. So this is about Anupam Rasayan. To summarize, the management is experienced in the industry. The fundamentals not really very impressed when compared to the valuation. The debt is under control. The sector is a good sector in which the company operates. The company is growing consistently well. But somehow I did not find a very strong competitive advantage to give this company such a valuation. So I found the valuation expensive, to be precise. For a listing gain, if the issue is subscribed well on the second day, you can go for a small listing gain and book profits. But long-term point of view, I feel in the same sector we can get other companies at more reasonable valuations. So this is my review. I suggest you to do your own analysis and consider this only for education purpose. I hope you like the video. Thanks for watching, spending so much time. Subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media. Thank you for watching and have a